This video, I'm going to show you how you add a motor to your rocket. So we'll pick up right where we left off. Got that rocket we designed in our overview video. And the motor you're going to select is going to go inside of a motor tube. And to do that, you want to be highlighting your fin can. And we're going to add a motor tube to that. They call them, where'd it go? An inner tube. And it's actually called a motor tube. And for now, we're just going to leave the size the way it is. There's this information. We'll probably be changing that size in just a second. It will be made out of cardboard, so we'll leave that right there. And now let's add a motor to this rocket. And we're just going to choose an Estes E motor. So we go up here to Motors Configurations. This part is not as intuitive for OpenRocket. We're going to go over this little window here, and we're going to say where we want the motor placed. And it's not in the payload bay, it's not the fin can, it's actually in the motor tube. So we click that. And then we go find our motor. So to do that, we're going to go to New Configuration. We're going to come over here, this blue bar, and double click on it. And here we go. Here's all of our motors. We can talk about which ones we want to have shown. Right now, I'm just having it show me only Aerotech. Let's have it show us Estes, because for our basic rocket, we're going to be able to use an Estes motor. If you're doing a level 1 rocket, you'd be doing Aerotech, an Aerotech H123. For basic, we're going to have an Estes E motor. So there's an E9 right here, an E928. Notice that the outside diameter is 24 millimeters and the length is 95 millimeters because it gives us data on the motor. So 24 millimeters outside, 95 millimeters length. And let's choose that motor. So I'm going to double click that and it popped the motor in there for us. Now notice the motor is a lot bigger than the motor tube. That's one thing to note. So we're going to make our motor tube bigger. The other thing is right up here, it shows us the motor that's in there. And we're going to do some editing on that in just a second for a delay. Let's go back and make that motor, the motor tube, the correct size. Now remember, hit Rocket Design, we go to the motor tube. It was 95 millimeters long and 24 millimeters on the outside. So let's change this to millimeters. Change that to 24. We should see a size that's correct. And length was 95 millimeters. So first let's change it millimeters. And then 95, and I think we're pretty close to the dimensions of that. You can see now that the motor tube is the same size as the motor, and that works great for the simulation. Our motor's in there. We've got the motor tube that's the right size. Motor tube's the right size. There's one other thing you're going to want to be able to do this. That's changing what's called the delay. As I told you in class, the motor's going to burn. And then there's going to be a time when the motor's not burning and the rocket keeps coasting upward, because the motor's going to burn less than 2 seconds. Then the rocket's going to coast upward, slowing down. And then at the very tip top, you're hoping you have an ejection charge at the top of your motor. That's the ejection delay. How long do we want it to wait before it kicks that out? And you can control that, and you need it for your simulation. And the way you control it is if you go into this motor, let's see, go into Motors Configurations, double click on this motor. Over here, sorry. Right now, the delay is set for 0 right here. Let's put a 6-second delay. Boom, so I just type in 6. The rocket motor will now have a 6-second delay. And the motors that you have, by the way, the E9s, they will be 6-second delays. So let's change those. If you're building a basic rocket, let's use an E9.6 for our motor. So with that, you have your motor in your rocket, and you're ready to move on to adding other components in your rocket. But that'll be it for this video, just showing you how to put a motor in your rocket.